What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Here we go. Make sure everything sounding good. We looking good.
Yes, sir.
Except the Dark Chat, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good on this rainy Sunday afternoon.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I know he said Sunday, and the episode you might listen to might be Monday, but we do live recordings of the podcast show on Sundays, 3 p.m.-ish every Sunday. So tap in, follow us on YouTube on DaChop Team. But yes, on this rainy Sunday, right? Today is.
It's coming down outside.
Yeah, I saw that. I noticed that when it's like, it's getting dark outside. And I knew he was heading over. But I was like, all right, make sure my homie's cool. He don't get too wet outside. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a great week. As you see the topic here, it's a really good topic here. And could you date someone if they say you had to have a certain credit score? And as I was setting up and everything down, my wife was dying. She's not going to be on the show, but she was dying, right?
Because she's scared.
Right, definitely scored. So she saw the title, was like, is that a thing? And we was like, no, but it needs to be.
Yeah, well, and I was like, yeah, it's not a thing at a certain age. It wasn't a thing when you guys got married.
It was?
But, now? Oh, yeah, it's on the table.
It's definitely on the table and definitely a conversation that need to be had. You know, I'm going to say, me personally, twinsinc speaking, I would say this is a conversation you need to have if you're going to be in a long-term committed relationship or even in planning to get married. Because this is an important question and things that need to be hashed out before you get married.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be in this committed relationship or marriage and then you're going to buy a car or buy a house or trying to move somewhere. And then now, if you don't notice, once you get married, both of y'all scores are combined together. So if I have 800 and then she had a 300, it's going to meet somewhere in the middle. And that's going to be a problem. We could get higher rates, might get declined. It depends. So that's why it does matter for me speaking. So I'm going to put it pin it for a minute because I think Seth have a different view on this than I'd have. What are your thoughts, sir?
No. We actually, you preaching, you spitting fire right there. Here, okay. So, can you date somebody? Yeah. You know what? If I make enough money so that you ain't never got to sign for anything, your credit score doesn't matter. But in this day and age, when you make as much money as I make and you go to work as much as I go to work and you can buy your own stuff, and if me and you together, we're supposed to make this work and you want me to be on your level, oh, absolutely, your credit score matters. If my credit score is lower than yours or vice versa, one of us can't do what the other person is expecting them to do. And in 2021, yeah, that's a valid deal breaker. So, is that a good enough argument, or you want me to get granular?
No. I mean, it's not really an argument, but it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had. It's very important that if you're looking to be into these long-term relationships, you need to have this conversation. Once again, stop basing being marriage or this long-term relationship off love. Love is not. Love comes and goes. Simple as that. And especially if they have kids, your love level drops a little bit. You know what I'm saying? At first you was love number 10, but them kids you drop down to 2 or 1. Sometimes not even nothing at all. But anyway, I digress.
At one point, you just there because you're supposed to be there.
Right. That part, right? Because you're supposed to be there. Yeah. But yes. So if I can go back, right, and thinking in my early dating days, way before marriage, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm married now, but before I got married, I dated a lot of ladies, and
slut alert. Okay.
Even though I didn't marry them, there were still situations in time that we might got an apartment together. I was gonna move in with them. I was gonna move with me. They needed a car. You know, those things does happen in relationship, right? And yes, I have used my credit score or my credit in a non-marriage relationship with a woman. So that does happen. It is what it is. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm letting you know that it did happen, and this does play a role.
Yep, he's a slut. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I was just playing. Yeah, you know what? I want to...
Go ahead.
Well, just the same for myself, right? You know, when you're younger, like I say, when you're around 20, 22, 23, your credit rating don't mean anything. So both of us fresh out of college or whatever, we done got a Target card and bought a Xbox and never actually paid. It was only $250. So you wreck your credit over a Target card.
Well, I'll say this because I learned about credit a little bit early in the game because I'm a twin, right? So twinsinc, yeah, I'm a twin. So I had my license. I think we both got our license at the age of 18 at the same time. So of course, our first car we had to share a car together. That didn't work out too well, right? But at the end of the day, we wanted to get our own cars, right? Being 18 years old, high risk, insurance, and
My God.
that's to the roof. But you try to get your own car, right? You try to apply and get this, and more like I didn't get the car. More likely, right?
Or you end up with a 21% interest rate. My first car.
Well,
Keep going.
it's funny though. I'm gonna come back to it, but the funny thing is, right? So at 18, if you try to get a car by yourself, you're gonna get denied. Of course, I'll say this: if 18 with no credit history, you can try to get a car, but you're gonna need a cosign, right? And then with the cosign, it'd be your mom or dad. More like you be able to get the car, right? And most cars, well, when I was coming up, was between 18 to 20,000 or 22, depending. Nothing too, just a basic, decent car, right? Now, well, not now, but even back then. But if you want to get a student loan for over $100,000, all you need is a signature from your parent, and it really didn't matter how much money your parents made.
Nope.
I mean, to a certain extent, right? You couldn't get approved for $1 million loan if your parents only made $80,000 a year. But it's so much easier to get a student loan versus a car loan versus apartment loan or apartment whatever or your own open a business loan. Okay, I'm gonna pull back a little bit. I just want to throw it out there. But
yeah, because that's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to pull back and get to you is that you're gonna need a cosign at the age of 18 with getting a car, whatever else, right? And you're gonna need somebody to do it for you. So I'm thinking about when I was coming up, right? So I had me a car, but this is when I'm a little older, so 20s, whatever. I'm dating. So me and this girl got serious, right? Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm bouncing. What I want to say about DaChop, what he said that at the age of 22 and 21, he didn't care about the credit. Maybe for him growing up, me, it didn't matter. The reason why it did matter because I was one of them young men who had my own apartment. And if you get an apartment at the age of 18 and 20 or whatever, you're going to have to do a credit check to get an apartment. And you're going to pay down deposit and all that. So for me to get out my mama's house, so I'm not one of them dudes in my mama's basement, I had to get out the crib, right? But guess what? I need to have a decent credit score or something to work with to get one. So yes. So for me personally, at the age of 20, yeah, it did matter because you couldn't get an apartment or a car or nothing if your credit score was jacked up. So with that being said, thinking about it now, a lot of these girls who run around talking about dudes are dusted, busted, scrubs, all that. A lot of these girls live home with their parents, and now I understand why. Because they couldn't get a apartment. They couldn't get, they couldn't get their own ish. Well. But anyway, that's a little subtle shot, but I fell out there. I stopped about it, and I'm like, that makes sense now.
Well, you know what? Okay, all right.
So
I get where you at. So let me give you my perspective, so you'll see where I was at the same time. So that 250, that wasn't actually me. That was my nephew. But myself, when I graduated from high school, once again, I don't even know what my credit score was. Either way, I met a girl. She actually had a credit card, and she said, when me and her were dating, I didn't have a credit card. I was paying cash for everything. She was like, yo, I'll put you on my card. I mean, we was fairly serious, but how serious are you at 19? Right? And she put me on her card. Her first card was a MasterCard, but it was a real credit card.
Right.
Boom. As a matter of fact, when we broke up, I took over the card. And so I have like a 28-year history on that one card that on my credit score, So we broke up, and I was like, look, just give me the card. I'll take your name off of it, and I'll keep the card. And she was like, okay, fine, because she was just ready to break up. And that's the oldest card. Either way, when I met her, my credit score at best might have been 400, 450, whatever your lowest. I'm poor, so I'll be honest with you. The first time when I got my apartment and I went and tried to get the lights turned on, my uncle, they were like, oh, well, you're going to have to pay your past due bill. I'm like, what past due bill? It's like $680. I still remember less than $700. my uncle had used my name back in the 80s. Dude, it's the mid 90s. What do you mean the past due bill? Either way, got that squared away. But my credit score was trash before I was even old enough to have credit.
Oh, wow. Damn.
You know.
Damn.
It was trash.
That was
I
real bad
old
right there.
enough to have credit. So either way, by the time, but, you know, the moment I got out of college, I'm paying my own bills. I'm making good money. And since old girl put me on her credit card, I never had to start with zero credit.
Mm-hmm.
So after about a good year, I think I was in the sevens at 20. By the time I was 21, I was in the 700s. And I've never dipped below 700 to the best of my knowledge. You know, go Equifax, don't play with me. For the rest of my life. So
Okay.
I don't know what bad credit looked like from my side.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, but I just want to, I guess we'll go ahead on into the topic, I guess.
Yeah. Just want to provide you a little background before we really get into it because...
Well, and I'll say I'm a black kid from the projects, people. I didn't know what credit was, but by the time I was 21, when old girl put me on her card, I got to keep giving her shots out for that. So when I went and bought my first car was a 1983 Chevy Cavalier that was...
Dang, I was born in 82.
Yeah, 83 Chevy Cavalier. It was a horrible car. Nothing worked on the car except for the fact that I put 2 15s in the trunk, 2 8s in the back.
Oh, we all been there on that one. We all been there. I had the sounds.
The car was horrible, but the radio could bump for like half a mile. Okay. I drove that car for about a year. Now, here's the only time I really had messed up credit. At 19 years old, I went and bought my first car. It was a Nissan pickup. I don't even remember the name of it. But it was a Nissan pickup.
Okay.
No credit. 21% interest.
Woo.
I drove it home. I kept it for about 2 weeks. I called. I said, yo, I can't afford this car. They were like, nope, you stuck with it. So, I called the finance company and told them I didn't want the car. I drove it for another 2 weeks. And guess who come calling my house? The dealership.
Okay.
They're like, hey, man, you need to bring the car back. Why? We need to discuss some things with you. No, I'm good. No. For real. Bring the car. No, I'm straight. So I went back and got a better car at a much reduced rate because I knew they couldn't finance that one.
Right.
Either way, that was the only time I had to deal with bad credit.
Okay.
I paid that car note off. Old girl hooked him up with the credit card. Never dipped below 700 again. Don't know what. I never needed a cosigner from the point out 21 on up. I've never needed a cosigner for anything. Right? So that's how I was. I meet my wife. This is a story. I meet my ex-wife. And we're living together and we're talking about getting married. We're not married at this point. She's like, let's find a house. I'm like, cool. Me being a foolish blue pill idiot that I was, I didn't understand that she was playing games. So we looking for a house. I know how much I make. I know how much she make. I done pulled out my trusty calculator and I done calculated how much the loan would be. We done talked to a loan officer. And we could pre-qualify for this. And we spent 90 days looking for a house. I was 26 at the time.
Okay.
So anyway, we found.
Y'all missed that. Continue. Continue.
So anyway, we find the house that we were looking for.
Uh-huh.
It fit the description of what we wanted. We sit down and we really in the realtor's office discussing some stuff. And the realtor leave the room for some reason. And she looks over at me and be like, we need to talk. In the realtor's office. Okay, yeah. It's probably better if I don't sign for the house. Now, the blue pill simp that I am didn't realize.
Wait. Say that again?
It's just my house.
Oh, it's okay. She doesn't sign for the house.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I missed that
my
part.
house.
Okay.
I'm like, I can't afford this on my salary. She said, no. I'll be there. I just think that you need to be able to see if you can do this on your own.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
The realtor pulled you to the side, or the wife pulled you to the side?
The girlfriend, the fiance, not even the girlfriend.
Okay.
The fiance.
The fiance at that time, that was the wife.
Mm-hmm.
So
that became the wife.
That became what? So we won't call it wife, so people are not confused. So the wife pulled you, say, hey, baby, let's go outside and talk for a quick second.
No. She didn't even go. The realtor left the room.
The realtor left the room. Okay, go ahead.
And she, after looking and doing this for 3 months, we've been looking for a house.
Okay.
Right when we we found something we like. Let's see what we can do. We sitting down. I'm all excited because I'm blue pill, thinking I'm about to go straight, leave it to Beaver, buying the house with the picket fence with the girl I'm gonna marry for the rest of my life. And then she hit me with, we need to talk. I'm like, about what? She's like, it's probably better. These are her words. If you sign for the house and I don't sign, if it's just your house initially. I'm like, yo, no, that's not how this works.
Right.
You know, that's when she tell me, well, I got some stuff with the IRS and some student loans that I ain't told you about. Bear in mind, at this point, we've been together for like 2 years.
Yeah, you fully invested. If you're looking for a house together, you're fully invested at that point.
Fully intending on getting married.
So hold on. So 300,
Okay.
how many days in a year? 365 days times 2?
700, 800, somewhere in that.
So in that range. And you telling me when we're actually looking at houses that, hey, you might want to get this house put in your name only. Like, why? We've been talking about this. We've been looking at houses. Why?
And blue pill.
Because I got some stuff on my credit. Wait a minute. So what happened to the first 700 days before we got to this point here that we didn't have this conversation about resource, money, credit? Like,
now, bear in mind.
Go ahead.
Bear in mind, I'm from a single parent household. My mom's is all I got. There's no major male figures. The closest I got to a male figure in my life is an uncle that I see periodically.
Okay.
So it's just me, and I'm figuring out this adulthood stuff. All my friends are my age, and ain't nothing dumber than getting advice from people who are your age.
Facts. Facts.
So,
or at least, and plus, they can be the same age, but if they're not going through what you've been through or have had the experience, it makes no sense.
We all young and dumb
at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, if we're the same age and you've been married for 10 years and I've been married for 5 years, okay, maybe
you might know.
You might know. You've been longer than me.
Yeah.
But if we married at the same time, 5 years, five years, yeah, you can't tell me nothing I already know already.
Exactly.
But continue with the story though.
So she hits me with that in the realtor's office, and changes everything. Did I get the house I wanted? No. Did we get the starter house that we planned on getting? No. We ended up getting what I could afford on my salary at the time, and once again, the salary you getting at 26 is not the salary you need to be buying the damn house.
Okay.
All
right. I see where you're going with that point now. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Okay.
I'm with you now.
So I still stay with her once again. When you see red flags, you need to pay attention to the red flags. They are telling you something.
And you said this is year 2. So year 2, I think you said you weren't married yet. Mm. And year 2, because your kids weren't here yet neither.
Nope.
Oh yeah, that was your red flag.
Pew.
That was a red flag.
Should have ghosted.
And the reason why we said that because it may sound harsh, right? Like, well, what that's kind. No, we're adults here. Mm-hmm. We are adults. If as the man or vice versa, it's his story. But I'm sure if Seth the Dark Child had credit problems or IRS problems, when his woman said, "Hey, we should look for houses," he'd be like, "Wait a minute, I got some stuff I need to handle first." If it didn't come up in the beginning first.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Just to level set.
Yeah. Then.
At that point, I was still blue pill. So at that point, I hadn't evolved into Self the Dark Child. I was still more along the lines of Hadrian the Earthborn.
The Earthborn.
The Earthborn. I was still kumbaya.
Kumbaya.
The world is a nice place. The world is a nice place with bad people and bad things in it.
Okay.
But the world is essentially nice. No. Seth the Dark Child. No. So the Dark Child in me right now would have taken the Earthborn child in me then and beat me in the back. Like,
I guess that would see. And based on the topic I just did on twinsinc Talk, where I said, what would you tell your 18-year-old self all over again if you could? And that would have been that right there would have been it right there.
No. if I could go back to my 18-year-old self, I would say have fun, wrap it up, don't get married.
Okay.
Those 3 things. Have fun, live your life, wrap it up. You don't, unless you want children, don't do nothing to create children. Wrap it up.
All right. And also, before he even got to those 3 points there, another thing that I listened to what kind of stuck out is that he didn't have that male figure in his life to give him those tidbits.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important for us men to make sure that we are in our kids' life. Of course, based on the control that we can, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's a lot of men out there who want to be in their kids' life, but there's a situation that's happened where they're being pulled out. But that's a whole nother topic, a whole nother day. I just want that tidbit in there because he knows now the reason why. He said it earlier. I'm in a house full of women, single parent, and the only person he had close to him was his uncle. And then you see his uncle use his credit information in the 80s for some gas and light bill or something like that. So that wasn't a good. He didn't have.
Yeah, you saw that too.
Yeah. So he, as far as him having good role models,
I lacked those.
He lacked those a lot.
And most of my boys were good fellas and all that. Once again, I grew up with a wonderful bunch of dudes. You know, we were tight, we were fam, but it was so many single parent households that let's be 1,000. Nobody. Maybe one. No. You know, now that I just do the math, dude, there weren't no fathers nowhere. We all were. My boy,
all figuring out. He's all figuring out at the same time.
Even my boy Cardo, whose dad reached out and gave me some good advice at one point. He was divorced from Cardo's mom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, okay. I would say 85 to 95% of the people who I grew up with, the guys I played in the dirt with and went to high school with, there wasn't a whole bunch of fathers running around at all, and I'm not exaggerating. So yeah, we lacked male. We were men lacking male leadership. Good times. So anyway, you know, back to the
fast forward up to she told you that picking your name.
Yeah. So now once again, there is a silver lining to this cloud, but it was almost not silver later. So anyway, I buy what I could afford.
Right.
Right. And it suffices for a while, but of course. This is close at this point. You roll around to 2007, 2008, the housing market crash.
Oh, worst time.
I only expected. Well, it wasn't bad for me, but I only expected to live there for like 3 or 4 years, 5 years.
Okay.
Well, right when I'm getting ready to move, boom, housing market crash. So everything's messed up, and I'm not trying to move into no house because there ain't no telling if you're gonna have a job. So yeah, I stay. So now I'm living in a house I never wanted to live in. It ain't nothing close to what I fantasized about. We married with kids now, but we ain't even talking about relationships. We still talking about the credit score.
Right.
Okay. So boom. Relationships start having trouble. I ended up staying. I kept the house. I kept it. But I hate it personally. Roll around now, I'm divorced. I still live in the same house I didn't want to buy in the first place, but I own it, so hard. And I can move, but at the same time, at this point, what's the point? The amount of money I could spend on a new mortgage, I can spend traveling to Aruba and Africa and the Caribbean.
And one thing, I think you told me this one thing too. You said, you know what? Even though I'm not happy where I currently live right now, like you just stated, you said, I can still take that money and get an Airbnb for a whole 2 weeks and live in an area where I might want to move or think about living in. And after a while, I'm like, okay, I'm tired. I'm ready to go back home.
And I've done that too. You know, you take a good trip for a couple of weeks and you were like, okay, I don't know if I would want to live here anyway.
That's true though.
So what's the point? And the old dude down the street from me, he the one solidified the idea in my mind because I was really like, I'm sick of this and I want to move. He was like, bruh, have you looked at the housing market in Atlanta? We still talking about the credit report, but this is down a little rabbit hole. He was like, for the amount that you would end up paying in mortgage that you saving every month living here, even if you don't like it. He was like, dude, he the one put the Airbnb idea. He said, dude, I'll just pack up and I'll go to Miami Beach for a couple weeks, and then I'll come back. I said, well, did you ever travel somewhere you wanted to live? He said, not for the price it'll cost me to live there versus living here free.
That makes sense. Yeah. You break it down that way. It makes a lot of sense.
And after my divorce, I went through some middle ground stuff. But the truth of the matter is, for what it cost me to live where I live, I'm just stacking cheese on the regular. I'm straight.
They make hold on. I knock on wood. Don't want to hear you.
Now, I will say this. Then we still talking about the credit report, but I will end my story by saying this. When I got divorced, it was a possibility. I almost had to sell my house or cash out the equity in the house and give to her because we was married, even though her name was not on the loan. She did not make one contributing payment to the mortgage at all, period. End of the sentence. She didn't make one contributing payment on that mortgage the entire time we was together. And at the end, I almost had to sell something I had prior to being married simply because I was married for more than 10 years. Bruh.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
Bruh.
The legal system needs to be reworked and needs to be fixed because it just makes no sense. There's definitely a lot of flaws there. And it goes both ways. And not just the men. I know women right now going through it right now. And it's just not fair, but it's the legal system. Well, go ahead.
Well, I want to make sure because somebody said this. I don't know if it was O'Shea. I don't know if it was Fresh and Fit or Donovan, whatever. The legal system isn't set up to attack men. I want men to stop thinking that. It's not set up to attack men. It's set up to attack the highest earner.
The breadwinner, yep.
The problem being with that is the vast majority of the time, men are the highest earners.
Right, because men are taught to provide, protect, lead, and all that stuff. So I get it, and you're right.
I mean, I just want to say, so all this, the system is attacking me because I'm a man. No, it's not. If you were Kelly Clarkson making more than your husband, if you make the most money, you are going to get drugged.
And it's crazy though because, and we won't pull it backwards, but it's crazy though because when they talk about the Dr. Dre and his situation, they talked about whatever. But then Kelly Clarkson is like, oh, well, man, I heard guys say, man, that guy need to go out there and get a job. He need to be a man and go out there and get a job and start depending on his woman. Wow, the double standards attacks again. Let's go with these double standards. You know what? I think we need to do a topic on double standards. Not today, but I think we need to do a topic on the double standards because it's getting outrageous. You fought for equality. You have it. Now welcome to the table, and guess what? Come and get this work.
Yep.
But anyway, back to the topip. Can you date someone if they said you had to have a certain credit score? Okay. So if I was dating someone, now right here is a prime example of dating with a purpose. Right here. Because you start dating, you go on the date market and like, all right, how you doing? Okay, baby, you look good. No kids. All right, cool. Oh, all right. Everything look good outside, whatever, inside, whatever. Hey, what's your credit score looking like? What was wrong? Oh, it's a 420. 420?
I don't even need, look, I don't want to get in your business, but while we sitting at this table and you smiling and cute, download Credit Karma on your phone.
Oh, yeah, right.
I can see all I want to see is the FICO score.
Just pull it up. Boop.
Credit Karma. Boop, boop, boop. And we can keep eating.
You know, it's funny, too, and I wish we had people, I'm sure I'm going to get the comments later on, but I wish I had somebody live now. But like, that's too much personal information. Is it? Because I can go on social media right now, and I can see how many people who actively promoting right now that they got the drink shot. You know what I'm saying? I can see that right now. Oh, I got this. But you ask them about their credit score. That's so personal.
Let me ask you a question.
All right, go ahead.
Just a simple question. It's personal to see your credit score. Isn't it just as personal to see you naked?
Yeah, that's personal.
So I can go on and see you. I can go online and see most of your body, and in some cases a lot. I can see the whole body. Because Instagram tell on everything.
And TikTok.
But you don't want to see your credit score? I thought being naked was personal too.
Very personal.
So if one isn't personal, is the other really personal? I'm just asking. I don't know.
I see. So my young fellas, because this is really for you to pay attention out there because we have the most to lose at the end of the day.
Yep.
And also, not just most to lose, the most headache. Because, once again, now, let me ask you this. So, when she said we should look for a house, was that even on your radar?
Well, it's a little complicated. Here's the thing.
Just a short answer. I know you
I get long.
I know.
But when we went looking for a house, we were still getting married. We were already engaged.
Right.
But we had been burglarized. Our house had been robbed.
Yeah, you told me that.
So
safety.
At this point,
so hold on. That's still part of the plan of the man.
I never felt unsafe. I'm from the hood. It happens. Honestly, I never once felt I'm not comfortable laying in this house. Never crossed my mind.
Listen, this is what I'm saying though. You felt safe, right?
I felt normal.
It was normal. Life. I mean, right? It's like you grew up in the projects, but you seen it happens. It happens. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, you're like, you know what? Okay, I gotta move now because I need to make sure I gotta protect.
I gotta be the man. I gotta
protect. This is what I preach on everything I say. Men is taught to protect, lead, and provide.
Yep.
Just that simple. I don't care what type we're talking about. That's what the men are supposed to do. If it was up to set the door child, after the king's door, he probably got a better padlock, and he probably stayed there because it is what it is. I mean, he might have got a gun or something else, whatever, there, but I'm cool.
It's her fault we got robbed. Listen, I'm going to get this off my chest and I'm going to shut up. It's her fault we got robbed.
Why is that? Why is that?
Okay, so I was living in an apartment complex, but I'm from the hood. You know what you don't do in the hood?
Buy a bunch of new stuff?
You do not be hood rich in the hood. If you hood rich in the hood, well, the other hoods in the hood are going to start looking at you sideways.
Trying to see what's under the hood.
Okay, so when I was living there, of course I had a decent job, but I was young, I didn't care. I had a TV, but it wasn't a huge TV. I didn't let, when we got together and I finally told her she could move in, and once again, moments that change your life.
Forever.
When I told
Red flag.
When I told her she could move in, here's the thing about credit rating. Even though she was talking about I needed to sign for myself, understand this. She moved in like a year before we got robbed. Instead of her taking the money she was saving because we were living together and paying down these debts that I did not even know existed, she went shopping. Every time I turn around, she coming in the house with something new. Okay, cool. I was uncomfortable with the amount of junk she was buying, but I was still blue-pilled and I didn't know how to put my foot down. But guess what?
What?
If I see you bringing all that stuff into the house, guess who else saw you doing it?
The hood.
And the hood eventually will be like, yo, I wonder what else you got in that house. And what the hood do.
Start paying attention, seeing when y'all both left to go to work.
Yep.
You sound a long time for you to get back. Like, they work these days. Okay.
Yep. Exactly that.
Oh, listen, all it takes is 2 weeks to scope someone's house to see the pattern. Okay, he works. Weeks. Okay, he leaves it around time.
Her car gone, his car gone. They be gone for 2-3 hours at a time. All right, then. So I just said all that. So now we get robbed once again. But they robbed and stole all the good stuff. all the new good stuff. It didn't affect my bank account, and it truthfully didn't cost me nothing. I was saving money because you was living here because you were paying part, never half. Forget all that garbage. She ain't not one damn time did she pay her half for the bills. But I was still saving a little money because she was donating something to the house. But she was balling out of control. So when we got robbed, it would have costed me negligible amounts of money to replace. I didn't even have insurance at the time, but what they were going to do, give me enough to buy an old set of TV and an old stereo.
The value of the stuff that took wouldn't matter.
But to me, it didn't matter. So I got robbed. We robbed. I'm back to where I started. It took me less than a day to replace what was stolen. I mean, for real, I just didn't buy it because I was in the hood. I'm not happy. I'm not safe. So now we're looking for a house, and this is when she surprised me with the messed up credit. But I wouldn't even never found out if you wouldn't have been balling out of control if you'd show anyway. So that's my whole story. And if you want more details, come back to the after party.
The irony and the worst part is I'm still thinking so you assume that she's buying all this new stuff. You assume that her credit and stuff is good. I mean, it's assumed. I
assume she was handling
you had no reason to ask. She.
I assumed you're an adult. You are handling your business.
I agree.
That was my whole assumption. I don't need to ask you Are you handling your business? Because you driving your car, you paying the car note. Cool. I didn't know that was. I didn't.
And also think this, most men, mature men, we're not really out here trying to be our woman's father or the parents. Like I expect you to be my wife, my woman,
my partner,
right?
That blue pill word. I thought you was a partner. What the?
So idiot. The fact that on that time frame that at the time he was blue pill, so he didn't know, right? Because I'm sure if you can go back now, he'd have had a conversation. Why you keep buying this stuff? What's your credit score look like? Oh, I owe this. Okay, stop buying this stuff here and pay towards that stuff. So when they came looking for a house, you can get what you want.
Well, no, let's square it up. For ladies, for y'all, so that y'all know this. When you stay in your own apartment, you got your own thing, you handling your own business, I don't care what your credit score is. But if you think you're moving into my house, I'm going to need you to bring your Credit Karma, your cell phone, and your bank statement. Because I don't trust y'all. Y'all lie about your finances. All right? So you want to move this relationship to the next level, it becomes a fight. Having sex is just friends. We can do that. If you want the next level of a relationship, that's in a business arrangement, and I'm gonna need to see those documents.
So let me ask you a question, Seth Darchild, right? Because right now you're out here in this dating market, right? Not saying you're looking to get back into that relationship, but let's play a game. As if So what would be a acceptable credit score for a woman now that you're talking to right now in 2021 that can sit at the table with you before you do anything else? What is that number?
700. And it's a reason for. I mean,
go ahead. Tell the reason.
Well, no, unless not just 7. It's because some things will raise up and lower your credit score. If you buy a new house, your credit score is going to take a hit for a while because you just increase your debt load.
Okay. Right.
If you go buy a car, that's going to knock down your credit score. So you could be 750, buy a house, your credit score could drop down to 690. You might not even notice it because you don't need your credit for a while.
Right.
But you increase your debt load, you're going to lower your number. So I'm going to need Credit Karma, which is going to tell on you, and we can go through it. I just need to know what you're doing with your money. How much you make is important. How you spend your money is important. If you handling your business, if I'm with you and your credit score 750, that says that you've handled a lot of your business the way I would have handled my business. And for the record, my credit score, even though the device I use to access it at home, should be around probably in between 767 and 805. Just in case. I don't care. I got good credit. I got great credit. But at the same time, even my ex-wife at this point, because I was the man I was supposed to be, at the time of our divorce, she was at about the 800 level because I took responsibility for our finances. But now, I'm not building with a woman. At this point, this is a corporate merger. This isn't no.
I like it. It's a merger.
Yeah, this ain't no startup. You need your own house. You need your own car, or you need the financial ability to purchase your own house and your own car. You need the stability that proves that you ain't gonna be a drain on my resources.
Ooh,
that's it. This is.
So once again, ladies and gentlemen, he's dropping some gems right here. Now this right here is a conversation that need to be had. And when they ask what he brings to the table, what he just outlined is what you need to bring to the table.
Yeah.
A credit score over 700 plus, because one thing he said was very key there. A credit score will tell you what type of person they are. Because to have a good credit score takes a lot of commitment, persistence, dedication, all that.
Yep.
It takes all that, because that number can drop so quickly, and for it to get back up, it takes forever.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Unless you got all the money to pay it off right away, lucky you. But if not, it takes a lot of work to do.
Yep. It's hard to maintain.
Right. And, because he's out in the day market, if I was in the day market, I feel the same way. I didn't make sure. Do you have your own house?
Or
right?
the ability to.
Or ability to buy a house, right?
Yep.
Are you able to buy the things that you want, right? Okay, you want I'm gonna use it for this scenario. So you want a Birkin bag? Can you buy yourself your own Birkin bag?
Exactly.
Before I shell the money and get you one, can you buy yourself one?
Exactly.
Can you buy yourself a Gucci bag, Gucci purse without me buying it? If those things you can't do by yourself, yeah, I don't need you.
Well,
Because mind you, hold on. Because mind you, when men blow money on this woman, we don't really care. We do it because we know that's what you want. Mm-hmm. We can give it because mind you, it's never the same. It's never the same. When I say it's never equal. Your birthday come, I go crazy on your birthday. Mm-hmm. My birthday come or Father's Day come, I get a t-shirt,
and a sweater,
boxing shorts, some cards, some candy. That's it.
Kmart sweater.
Something generic when it comes to the men, but the woman, we go all out, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, so we don't really care about that. Really, we do things because we want you to be happy. I want you to understand that men sacrifice those things just so he can make sure that you're happy, not because he wants to. Not because we want to, because it makes you happy. If you're happy, I'm happy.
No, them days over.
Well, right. Well,
that was a blue pill statement. I'm gonna make that statement. If you happy, I'm happy. That was a blue pill statement.
Okay, you're right. Go ahead. Talkish.
I mean, and like I say, this isn't to say. Once again, I am not high value. I do not qualify for Kevin Samuels.
We're not even on that right now. We ain't saying nothing about that.
I just want to say, so at this point, I'm not trying to say that I don't want good stuff. I'm saying in my mid 40s, so could you date someone they say you have to have a certain credit score? In my 20s, that was a negligible thought. When it hit me, I still did what I did, and I did it with a smile because I thought that was the man I was supposed to be. But in my mid 40s, heading towards 50s and 60s, this ain't a startup. This isn't my first job at McDonald's.
This is a merger. I like how you said that.
This is a merger, boo. When I say what you bring to the table, don't be bringing your McDonald's resume to a corporate meeting. This is not, you're not supposed to be here. If you in your 40s still talking about I am the table with nothing to back it up, boo, you sound like a fool. And once again, I want to also clarify once more. When it's just sex, I don't care. So if me and you just kicking it on a slow Tuesday, I don't care what your credit score is. But also recognize that if you want this relationship to go further, you have to show that this business arrangement that we will be entering into is not going to be a liability. Otherwise, we can keep it at sex. It doesn't have to be elevated. You are deciding how far this relationship go once you get past, 35?
Yeah.
You decide how far that relationship goes. And a lot of things enter into it, including your fitness and all that, your attitude. But at this point, it's numbers on paper, boo. This is a corporate merger. This is not your first job at McDonald's.
That's a mic drop. I know, right? It's a mic drop right there. Listen, I'm gonna close it right there, ladies and gentlemen, because there's nothing additional to follow up on that. I agree with that. 700 score or higher, be able to have your own house or be able to get your own house, be able to buy the things that you want before you ask me to buy it for you, be able to take a trip without me paying for the trip. Like all those things matter. And like you said as well, at 35 or even 40 years and up, at this point now, no, I'm not bringing you up. This is a merger. And if you know what a merger is and working in corporate America, then this topic may go over your head because you don't understand. If you know what a merger is, that's two companies who are almost about the same value. They come together and become one, right?
Two companies that see real value in merging their assets. Let's say Disney bought Fox because Fox had something Disney wanted access to. They merged to become, they're still Disney, but Fox is part of it. It's a valuable component. Right. They didn't, if they just wanted to buy a TV series from Fox, they could have did it and left the rest of Fox where it was at. They bought the entire company because there was benefit in it being into merging together into one company.
And also the other company also had to agree to be bought too. You just can't buy them. That's what it's called merger, because they agree. All right, you know what? You want to buy us? Okay, what we get out of it? Okay, we'll do a deal. So that's why it's called merger. Instead of saying bought out, they merge together. You know, at the end of the day, it's still be one company with one name, right? But they still have to merge together.
Yep.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like the topic here. Tune in to us once again on Sundays, 3 p.m. ish on YouTube, DaChop Team. If you have any questions, comments, or anything you want to say to us, follow us on IG at DaChop Team, Seth the Dark Child, twinsinc, all on Instagram, and send us email at thechopteam@gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next week. We out.